what I always
Okay, hang on.
is,
Redo.
they saw it.
Let me what I was saying before is welcome to our kitchen. Amazing Chef Cindy is going to teach us how to do some salmon and veggies.
Okay.
So here we go. Thank you, Priscilla. I love you. Got your message.
You know, it's what Rose always wants to do. Keep my mother from talking too much. Okay. So you saw, I hope you could read my lips and you're able to see. I'm doing this all the, I got to tell you that I do this in class too. And the kids will just let me go on and I'll go, so what do you guys think? And then somebody will say in the chat, Chef Cindy, you forgot to put on the sound. We can't hear a word you're saying. But you grasp the concept. So you spray the
so tell them what it was.
Oh, parsnips, Romanesca, and yellow beets, so golden beets. And I never take off the skin. I just wash them really good, and then I cut it up like French fries. So the Romanesca is cauliflower. It's like a cauliflower. It'll take the same amount of time to roast to become soft in the center as the parsnips and the beets will. But if you wanted to put potatoes in there too, you could do red potatoes or sweet potatoes, and you could do the same thing. You could just cut them in half. Always make sure that you watch your fingers. You don't want to hurt yourself. This right here is a chef knife. This right here is a serrated knife. This is a paring knife. These are my tools in the kitchen, along with this, so that I can make sure that I can keep everything sharp. A sharp knife, a dull knife, you can harm yourself with it because you'll push too hard and then you can cut yourself. So another thing I do is I always hold like this and I protect, and my middle finger with my knuckle is kind of where, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's how I chop, like this. When I go like this, I always have, and I never put my thumb. I can't tell you how many times when I was younger, I would cut right here, I would cut right here, because I would go like this and inevitably I'd come down and that's where I cut. It's hard to cut if you follow your knuckle, okay? So you're going to do a rocking position, okay? So what I did is I cut them in half. In fact, I have a parsnip right here and I'll just show you. You cut the ends. Do you see I'm always keeping my fingers back? When I hold this, I cut down and then I cut this way. Always holding my fingers kind of like this.
Cool, maybe we can put this one in the air fryer.
Oh, there you go. She's gonna put those in the air fryer. Nice. Oh, yeah, there's Rose.
So it's a cute, cool little, which is really nice for if you're a solo person eating the veggies, right?
Or if you're in a hurry.
Or if you're in a hurry.
Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put, they have this here, and I'm going to put these, when you pile your vegetables on top of each other, they will not cook evenly. So I try to make some space here. All right, then I'm going to spray it. Just a little bit of oil. And then I'm going to put it in here like this. A little bit of salt. That's it. Good to go. Pop it in the air fryer. Cool. And we're going to see how long, what the difference is. Awesome. Now we're going to step over to the salmon. Rose, you want to bring them over here?
I sure do.
Woo. I got some smoke and we're smoking here. So with my salmon, she's bringing it over here. With my salmon, today all I'm doing is putting a little bit of salt. I like to toast my herbs and spices before I put it on. Then I'm going to take, see the skin here, flesh side. I put it flesh side down first. I have it on high heat because what I want to do is I want to get a nice golden brown that's going to hold in all of the moisture, and that's what you want to do. You never want to put it into a cold pan because it's going to stick. But if you put it in a nice hot pan, you've got those herbs toasted or the salt toasted or whatever seasoning you're going to do. There's so many things that you can do with salmon. I'm also going to slice up some lemons, and I'm going to put it right around here because, you know, caramelizing your lemons or onions are going to be wonderful. You could also put some tomato right at the end when you flip your salmon over. You can put tomatoes, onion, any kind of herbs and vegetables around it. Then when you lift off your salmon, you can then take those herbs and put it right on top of the salmon, and it has a lot of flavor to it, especially if you don't like the flavor of fish. And sometimes people, like salmon will be like, or whitefish or whatever, it's like, it's too fishy for them. But this is how you can make it so that everybody likes to eat the fish if you put some good seasonings and some other herbs around it. Leeks are another thing that's really good. Whenever I make Chilean sea bass, which is maybe once a year, I do it like for my birthday, or I do it for a special occasion because it's really expensive. What I'll do is I will put garlic and leeks into the pan and then squeeze some lemon juice, kind of cook those down. I move it to the side, high heat, and then I throw my my Chilean sea bass and I brown it. Most of the time it has to be on the side. I brown it just like this, and then when I flip it over after it's been browned, I cover it up with the leeks. I put the lid on it because Chilean sea bass, you have to cook it till it's flaky, or it'll be too tough. Salmon you can eat medium rare is okay because it'll still have that soft flavor. But Chilean sea bass really needs to be cooked till you can flake it with a fork. Okay, same thing with swordfish. You know, when you can put your finger through it, it's done. Otherwise, it's going to be too tough. And a lot of times, people go, I didn't like the flavor of it. It was too tough. It didn't have a good texture to it. A lot of times, it's the way that you're cooking it. So make sure that, you know, swordfish, Chilean sea bass, you have to cook it all the way through till it's soft. Salmon, you don't have to. Petroli sole, because it's thinner, it tends to, you don't have to, it doesn't take that long to cook. The Chilean sea bass does. Okay, do you have any other questions about anything?
No, did you want to add some leeks to this salmon
I would love to add some leeks to this. I think it'd be great.
Leeks are kind of like onions, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're kind of in that group.
I know.
But
So
they have such a better flavor. I love leeks.
I'm just saying that I want to have it on the onion side of the cutting
Okay.
board.
So we're gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do is turn this down a little bit. So now there is oil. Salmon is a very, so I'm gonna take my serrated knife. Salmon is a very fatty fish, which is really good for your heart. You need those omega-3s and omega-6. Tuna's like that too. So what I'm gonna do is your leek, because it's grown in dirt, will have some, you know, some
Dirt.
No, I'm not going with tomatoes today.
No?
But I will go with garlic.
Oh, okay.
Garlic and onion juice. Oh my God, you're gonna love this. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so here I am. This is all cooking so good, and there's a little oil that's coming from the fat, from the fish. I'm gonna use that in what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take my leeks, and these get so soft and creamy. You're gonna love leeks. So Rose is going, Mom, can we have a little tomato in this too? Not today. So not today. Maybe next time. Okay. So I'm going to take my leek, and I'm going to put it around the side. And then I'm going to take my lemons, and I'm going to slice up the whole lemon, take out some of the seeds. I'm going to throw those in there. I'm going to grill all this stuff together. This is going to make such a nice flavor. Don't be afraid to use herbs and spices and anything that you like, anything that you know, dried spices, fresh spices, lemon juice, onions, garlic. All of this just gives, and you'll find out what you like. Turmeric is another really good spice to use. Bring in the flavors that you enjoy. And don't be afraid to experiment. And it might take you a couple of times if you're introducing a new flavor for your palate to get accustomed to it. I see that with my students at Well, all the time they go, oh, I don't like curry. Oh, I don't like garlic, or I don't, whatever. And then I make it a few times, and their palate changes. They go, how come this tastes different now? And the same thing with fish too. Keep giving yourself a little more um, education of the palate. So keep trying it. Just don't give up. So now I'm going to take my garlic and I'm going to slice it very thin. Again, protecting my fingers. You don't want game over. And if I know where my fingers are, see how my knife is right there? I don't even have to watch. I'm going to stick this around the sides. And then, I'm just going to kind of move these. Oh my gosh, look at that, Rose. It's getting so nice and brown. Can you see that? So my leeks and my garlic are going, and it's all cooking right in the fat that's coming from my salmon, which is a good fat. That's salmon fat. Fish oil, right here. I'm actually cooking with the fish oil. And this is going to be amazing. Garlic, shallots. I mean, not shallots, but you can use shallots.
So you know how she put the salt on the pan before and heated it up before she put the salmon on?
I like
That's a really amazing trick with salmon or any fish or any meats with any other kind of seasoning. So like toast the seasoning first, and then it doesn't stick.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over.
Yeah.
So remember I told you about heating this pan up? So here's this. Oh, look at that.
Wow, Mom.
Do you see that?
Perfect.
It's awesome. And do you see all this around it? Now, this skin will probably, and I'm going to take all of this as soon as all this is toasted good, I'm going to put it right on top of the salmon and then put the lid on it and let all of this infuse into the salmon. But the herbs and the onions and such, they've all been infused with the fish oil from the salmon. Okay? So this is infused with fish oil. We're going to put it on top. It's going to seep in there. You are going to lose your mind because it'll be so awesome. Okay?
I'm going to lose my
You're
mind.
going to lose your mind. You can see, I love food. I love food. Yeah. And there's no reason, even though I was 100 pounds overweight, I hated myself. And I would take one bite of food and it would be, oh, it's so good. And then I would hate the food and hate myself afterwards. Over 20 years, when I eat what's amazing. I'm able to eat in smaller amounts. I am not eating all of the processed food, and I'm not, but I mean, I just can't explain to you what it's like to just always have my goal was to really love to enjoy my food, and with having the boundaries around weighing and measuring it and eliminating processed food, which is what put me in the shape I was in. Who knew? Who knew that this would feel so satisfied? My mouth is watering just thinking about how good, how delicious this is. Look at this. Right on the top. Right on the top. Oh my God. So you have, it's so crispy. That is so crispy, that salmon with this nice garlic. And now I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to let it infuse.
Yeah.
And you can see you could do tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
You could put bell peppers. You could put any kind of onion, shallots, garlic, onion. Rose, are you having salmon for lunch today?
I sure am.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to, oh, and these lemons are going to be delicious, delicious, delicious. Okay. All right. Ready? Okay, put it on there. Okay, now we just put it on low, and we're going to let it infuse. Amazing. It will be amazing. And another thing you could do, if you were to have some like red potatoes, if you wanted to have potatoes with this, I would cook them ahead of time. and then I would cut them in half, and I would put a little bit more salt or whatever, put a little spray, take those potatoes and put them right around.
Or
and
tomatoes
let
even.
Or tomatoes and grill it up right there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing. You can also take some like
Whoa.
cooked barley. Oh, look what happened here.
Oops.
Okay, oops, but I
So,
think they're gonna be delicious.
I put it on the, so that was just what? That was 12 minutes. I went a little overboard. Remember when we said it only takes 8 to 10 minutes? Well, that's fine. I burnt them a little bit. So the air fryer is so quick. I should have turned down, because there's like several different settings. There's max air fry, which is the 10-minute at 450. And then there's the regular air fry at a lower temperature. So I was like, oh, it'll be fine at whatever the number is for automatic, but it does not take that long. It takes less than 10 minutes. So live and learn.
Okay, but are those so good?
I mean, I'll still eat them, but I don't think I would intentionally cook them this way again.
No, not that. So now I'm gonna check over here and see how this is doing.
Okay, I shall bring them with us.
Oh, look at this, look at this. Oh, these are done. Oh my goodness.
So how are you knowing they're done?
Well, when I'm gonna show you.
Yeah. Just gonna grab a little fork and show us.
So this just is, oh, look at that. I mean, it just goes in like butter. It's like butter. These beets, oh yeah, this is so good. And you can just, it just tenderly goes in there. Oh my God, this is amazing, Rose. And look at the nice brown on there. I don't know if you guys can see the nice brown. Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. In fact, what I might do is take this out because this was on the bottom. So this got a little hotter. And I might stick, while I'm putting this into a pan, I'm just gonna let this just need like one more minute. One more minute to be perfect. And then we'll start putting it on a platter. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay. And the salmon's done too. All right, so you know I put this on foil, and this is why. And here's my parsnip fries.
So easy.
Is that like so easy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so good. Okay, this, and like the cleanup over here is like nothing. All right. And here we go with this, and I'm gonna put these around the edge. This is my grandson's favorite vegetable right here.
Mm-hmm.
So delicious. And then I'm gonna put my beet fries. Right in the center. Is that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Beet fries. And I'm gonna get my salmon.
Romanesca, beet fries, and parsnip fries. Yoo! All right, you gonna bring the salmon over here, Mom?
As soon as I check the temperature.
Cool.
Okay. So what you do is you take your thermometer and you stick it right in the center, and we're looking at 140, at least 140 degrees. And it is not quite there. Yeah, you want to make sure that all of your fish, your meat, your eggs, at 140 degrees is when the bacteria stops growing. So your danger zone is between 40 and 140 or 139. So when you reheat stuff, you should reheat it up to 150 degrees, and hopefully, you'll kill any bacteria because things grow. And if you refrigerate, it's got to be below 40 degrees, and that's refrigeration or reheating up. And we still have a little ways to go here with the salmon. So this is what I do sometimes, because it's sitting on top of the skin. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go right between the skin and the flesh on the salmon. You ready, Rose?
I think so.
And then, wait.
But
Yeah.
want me to get it out, right?
I
Yeah.
want you to get it out. And then I'm gonna let that under part and this right here. If you like to eat the skin, this is so crunchy and nice, feel free. But, and I'm just gonna turn this up. This is gonna go really quick now.
I think we'll give it to the puppy.
Oh, wow. What is that awesomeness?
Yeah, it's salmon, babe.
And see this?
Are you gonna
You
cook
see
up your
on the
steak? It's over
top?
there.
Oh my
What?
God, that is so gorgeous. Okay.
Do you want the lid back so that I can?
So we're almost.
When you put the lid on the salmon after you flip it and grill that top part, then it helps it cook quicker, right? It like cuts the time in
So
half.
the
when you have
thinner
lid
part
on.
here, Rose, this
Yeah.
thinner part is done.
Yeah.
The thicker part, and you've got to always go into the thicker part, like when you're doing chicken, always go into between the thigh and the breast right in there by the bone, because that's where you got to make sure it reaches 150 degrees. Okay, so I think we are all. Okay, we're 100, and if you can see that, we're 140, almost 140. So if you just have this part here, but you don't have to go, I'm just gonna have this go just for another minute,
Yeah, definitely.
and I think it'll be perfect.
All right. Do you maybe want to, James? Do you want
Okay.
some help with your steak, babe?
Wait, what?
You have your steak over there. Yeah, unless you want Nana to just quick make it real quick.
Wait, I didn't know what did I say that to my meal? I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you would have your steak too.
I don't think so. I've had a lot
Okay.
of mushrooms now.
So there you go, Rose.
Yeah,
So there's
Beautiful.
your amazing meal.
All right, so I'll be getting down with 4 ounces of that salmon and 6 ounces of this beautiful veggie spread. Easy breezy.
Keep it simple. That's what I say. And don't let the perfect get in the way of the good enough.
no.
You know, it's really important that you balance your food out. Like 2/3 of your plate should be, vegetables and salad, a little quarter of it, maybe a piece of fruit that you can put in there, depending upon how your food plan is. If you're losing weight or you're maintaining. Anyway, find your happy space. If you're not enjoying your food and feeling released from any guilt or shame, then you're not eating right. So the goal is to feel really good about what you eat and how you feel. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're making tomatillo. I've got ground turkey. We've got some brown rice going on, or maybe I've got some barley, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, great. Thanks.
Love you all. Thank you for your patience as we did the first 10 minutes without volume. And thank you, Priscilla, for letting me know. All right. Always too much fun. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be human and keep going. I love you all. See you soon.